It is 6:30 in the morning, or at least I think it is. The sun is only a smear behind thick gray clouds, and the wind that moves past the tower makes it sound like the whole world is just breathing heavy. My name is Caleb Stone. I am still here at the station in Cleveland. This old room is running on a backup generator that is already coughing like an old man. I don't know how long it will hold. It feels strange to be speaking into this microphone right now, when there is nobody left out there that I can be sure is listening. But I need to talk. Maybe you need to hear someone. Maybe you're still out there with a battery radio under a blanket trying to get warm. If you are, just know I am doing the same thing in here. You made it out. Someone else didn't. Who was it? No names, just the story. Let me know below. The air smells like metal and burned plastic. It has been like that ever since the thing came down from the sky. I still remember that morning like it's stuck inside my skin. People thought it was thunder, but it wasn't. The ground shook so hard I thought the tower was going to fold. It was not like an earthquake. It was sharper than that. The glass cracked right down the middle of the studio window. For a minute, the whole world went quiet. Then the sirens started. I went outside and you could see the smoke, far out west, a line of black where the horizon should have been. We didn't know then. We thought maybe it hit out in the water somewhere, but we know now. Everybody knows now. It didn't just hit out there. Pieces of it kept falling, big and small. Burning pieces that kept hitting all around the Midwest. Whole blocks of houses turned into dust. Cars burned in their own driveways. Even now, I can still see that red color that the sky turned. I don't think it will ever leave my eyes. At first, people ran to their cars, like that would save them. The roads clogged up so fast that by the time the second wave of fragments came down, you could see people just leaving their cars in the middle of the road and running into any building they could find. I stayed here in the studio. I don't know why. Maybe I thought talking would keep me alive. It didn't matter anyway because as soon as the power grid went down, all the smartphones and all the computers and all the new cars just died. Everything died. It was like somebody flipped a switch and the whole country went dark. People couldn't even open their garage doors because they were all electric. You don't think about how much of your life depends on tiny bits of electricity until you don't have any. I've been getting pieces of news from other stations, from people with shortwave rigs, but the voices are fewer every day. They say New York is half underwater. They say the sea came up fast, faster than anyone expected. Miami is just gone. Galveston, too. They say the coasts all over are like that. I keep trying to call my sister out there in Norfolk, but nothing goes through. All the phone lines are dead, and the last time I tried on the ham radio, all I got was noise. It is like the air itself is broken. I need to slow down. I keep catching myself talking too fast. Like if I keep the words coming, I won't think about the fact that there might not be anybody left listening. So let me just tell you what I see right now. Outside the station, there's the parking lot, and most of the cars in it haven't moved in a week. The wind is blowing paper around. The grass looks burned, not from fire, but from dust. It sticks to everything, even your teeth when you breathe in. Across the street, there is a grocery store that got broken into last night. I could hear the glass breaking from up here. Nobody even runs anymore when they take food. People just move slow and quiet and carry what they can. Nobody fights for it because there's no point. There's too much hurt in everyone's eyes. I think about that day again, the day it started. I was on air when it hit. It was just a normal Thursday morning, just after 8. There had been talk for a while about an asteroid they were tracking, but they told us over and over it would miss. I had even joked about it on air the week before. Then, at 8:17, I felt the floor shake under me, and all the screens on the board went blank. I could see smoke rising over the lake. You could hear car alarms going off, but then those stopped too because everything with a chip just died. A guy from the weather team came running into the studio. His name was Tom. He had been around forever, old school. He said right then, "It hit. It really hit." He said it like he couldn't believe the words. For the rest of that morning, we all just sat there in the dark, with only the emergency lights. I kept the microphone open because I didn't know what else to do. People called in while the phones still worked. A nurse from a hospital near the lake called crying because they had no power and no machines for the babies. She didn't know how to help them. That was the last voice I heard on a normal phone before everything went out. That sound never left me. Since then, we've had no power except these old backup generators. No internet. No news except for the scattered voices you can catch late at night when the static clears for a moment. I heard a man from Chicago say that the water is up to Michigan Avenue. He said you can smell rot everywhere. Another man from Kansas said crops are dead because the ash in the air blocks the sun. It has only been a week, but it feels like a year. I keep thinking about food. There are cans in the storage closet and water from the tank on the roof, but that won't last. I tried to make a run to a store 2 days ago, but the shelves are already empty. I saw a woman trading a pack of batteries for a jar of peanut butter like it was gold. I don't know how people will make it through the winter if the sky stays covered like this. It is cold already, even in July. At night, it feels like October. If you are listening, here's what I can tell you. Stay away from the big highways. They are dead zones. Stick to small roads and neighborhoods. Find a group if you can. Nobody can make it alone. If you find canned food, keep the cans even after you eat, because you can boil water in them. Stay away from low places near water. The water keeps rising a little every day. If you live near a coast and can still move, go inland. I don't know how far is safe anymore. I don't even know if anywhere is safe. I am trying to remember what it was like before. The sound of traffic in the morning, the glow of streetlights, even the smell of a hot summer day when the asphalt bakes. Now there is just dust and the slow grinding of the wind. It gets into everything. I can feel it in my teeth. I will keep talking as long as the generator lets me. I don't want to be one more voice that goes quiet. There aren't many left. I slept in the studio again last night. The floor is cold, even with 3 jackets under me. I can hear the generator hum through the walls, but it's starting to sound different, like there's a rattle inside it that wasn't there before. I don't know how much gas is left in the tanks. I try not to think about it because if it goes, the signal goes. And if the signal goes, I'm just a man in a dead city talking to himself. I guess maybe that's what I am already. The world is too quiet for a city this size. Sometimes you can hear voices out in the distance, but most of the time, all you hear is the wind and the slow thump of things hitting the ground. Bits of the sky still falling days after. The streets don't look like Cleveland anymore. There are cars frozen at odd angles, some with the doors open, some burned down to nothing but a shell. There's no order to any of it. The buildings are all coated in dust so thick you can write your name on the windows with your finger. It tastes like metal and makes your tongue hurt. I've started wrapping a shirt over my mouth when I go outside. My lips crack from the air. You can see the lake out there, but it doesn't look like water now. It's full of mud and pieces of wood and trash. It rises a little closer every day. Yesterday, I swear I saw a whole dock break loose and float down like it was nothing. I try to keep track of time, but without the phones, without the screens, time feels like it's melting. It is always gray. Day, night, it doesn't matter. The clouds hang so low you feel like you could reach up and tear them. I think about that first night a lot. Nobody slept. You could see little fires burning all over, little dots of light where houses and cars had been hit. The city was loud that night. You could hear people crying, shouting, breaking glass. I think people thought there would be some rescue team, that helicopters would come or someone would tell us what to do. But nothing came. Just silence. The emergency alerts on the radio played over and over until the towers went dead. Then it was just static. I remember sitting here at this same table holding the mic and trying to decide whether to leave. I thought about going to find my sister. She lives about 6 hours east of here, but the roads were chaos. I saw the bridge heading out of town, and it was just cars packed together, people on foot, dragging kids, dragging bags. I didn't think I'd make it a mile, so I stayed. I thought if I kept talking, maybe somebody who knew more would tell me what was happening. Nobody ever did. The first couple of days, people still tried to help each other. There were groups with flashlights knocking on doors, asking if anyone was hurt, sharing food. But that's starting to go. People are hungry. People are scared. There was a man yesterday in the parking lot. He looked at me, but he didn't say anything. He just held out his hands like he wanted me to give him something. I don't have much, just a couple of cans. I gave him one. He didn't thank me. He just walked away holding it close like he was afraid I'd change my mind. I keep hearing different things about what happened. When the signals still came through a few nights ago, there was a man, maybe a scientist or something, who said the big rock that hit was made of iron. He said it carried some kind of static or magnetic storm with it. That's why all the electronics died. He said the oceans are rising because the impact shook something loose deep under the sea, and now the water has nowhere to go. I don't know if that's true, but I don't have a better guess. Sometimes at night the sky glows faint red, like there's a huge fire somewhere beyond the clouds. I don't know if that's from more rocks falling, or if something else is burning far away. I try to think of ways to tell you how to stay safe, but it's hard when I don't feel safe myself. All I can say is this: if you have water, guard it. If you have food, stretch it as far as you can. If you see someone alone who looks as lost as you, try to stick with them, even if you don't know them. Being alone right now is like waiting for your body to stop. If you live near where the sky still rains pieces, stay inside during the day. Wait for the cooler hours to move. And if you hear anything that sounds like a jet overhead, get on the ground. It isn't a jet. It's another piece of the sky. I have not heard from the government in days. There used to be a faint repeating message on one of the low frequencies telling everyone to go to shelters, but now those are gone. It is just static. I wonder if they are still out there or if they've gone silent like everything else. This morning, I went outside and walked 3 blocks to see if the gas station had anything left. On the way, I saw a group of people gathered around an old pickup truck. It's one of the only things still working, because it's from the 70s. No electronics in it. They had siphoned gas from all the cars around and were filling up cans. There's no law anymore. Nobody stops them. Everyone just watches. I found nothing at the gas station but broken glass and empty shelves. Even the bottled water was gone. The smell inside was sour, like spoiled milk. On the way back, I passed a woman and a boy. She was carrying a grocery bag with something inside it that clinked. She pulled the boy close when she saw me. We looked at each other for maybe 2 seconds, and then kept walking in opposite directions. It feels like that now. Everyone is afraid of everyone else. I am trying to remember the last time I heard laughter. I think it was the day before the impact, outside a diner. Some kids laughing so hard their dad had to hold their shoulders. I would give anything to hear that sound again. I have to check the fuel in the generator after I finish this. I have been turning it off for hours at a time now, just sitting in the dark to save what's left. I've got about 3 cans of gas left, maybe enough for a week if I'm careful. After that, I don't know. I'll stay on this frequency as long as I can. If you're out there, keep your radio on low. Check it when you can. If my voice goes silent, it just means I'm out of power. It doesn't mean I'm gone. I don't know if this will matter to anyone, but my name is Caleb Stone. I'm here. I'm trying. And if you're out there, you should try too. I keep looking out the window at the same street and thinking about how it used to sound out there. There used to be buses rolling by every 15 minutes. You'd hear brakes, the low hum of engines, people shouting across the crosswalk because someone was late, or because someone's coffee spilled. Now there is nothing. There is not even the sound of a dog barking. I think most of the animals are gone or hiding. A few days back, I saw a thin dog standing in the middle of the road staring at a car with its lights still frozen on. It didn't move when I walked by. It just looked at me, then back at the car like it was waiting for someone to come back for it. I didn't have anything to give it. That's the part that eats at me. You keep passing things you can't help. People, animals, all of it. I'm trying to keep track of the changes because they come slow. The lake moves a little closer each day. It is brown now, not blue. Brown and gray. And there's a smell like fish that have been left out in the sun, even when the air is cold. 2 nights ago there was a deep sound, like something big fell into the water out there. I couldn't see what it was. Maybe another piece. After it happened, the air smelled different for a few hours, sharper, like chemicals. Then it faded. There are so many rumors. I don't know what's true. I heard from a guy on the ham band that there are entire towns in Pennsylvania moving underground into the old coal tunnels. I heard another voice say that Columbus is still trying to keep the lights on with old diesel generators, but the fuel won't last. I heard that Chicago has soldiers in the streets, but I don't know if that's to help or to keep people from leaving. No one knows where to go. I keep thinking about that word impact. People keep using it like it was just one thing that happened and ended. But it keeps happening. Every day since that first hit, more pieces fall. Some are just small, like a rain of glowing dust that burns your skin if you're out in it. Some are big enough to make the ground shake. You can feel it even here. Sometimes when the building shakes, I think the walls will come down and the whole tower will fold. If you're out there and you have something like a basement or a strong old building, stay low. Stay away from windows if you can. The air doesn't feel safe to breathe when those dust waves come. Use a wet cloth over your mouth. That's what I do. It isn't perfect, but it's something. I've been thinking about my parents a lot. They passed away years ago. They lived through storms, blackouts, even the big blizzard when I was a kid, but they never saw something like this. I keep wondering what they'd tell me if they were here. Probably to stay calm. To just keep moving one day at a time. That's all I can do now. I had a dream last night. In the dream, the city was back to normal. There was sunlight again. The streets were busy. My sister was laughing at something on her phone. But then the sound faded, and I looked up, and the sky was full of fire, coming down like rain. I woke up on the floor, with my shirt wet from sweat. For a second, I thought maybe it was still just a nightmare. Then I remembered where I was. People always think they'll act brave when something terrible happens. But it's not like in movies. It's not fast. It's slow. It's waking up every day and wondering if this is the day you can't find food, or if the air will burn your throat, or if the water will take the last road out. It's waiting and waiting and hoping someone has a plan. I used to think someone somewhere always had a plan. Now I'm not sure anyone does. This morning I turned on the dial and scanned through every frequency I could reach. I found one faint voice somewhere around 9 megahertz. It was a man talking about the sky. He said they are calling this a long tail event. He said the big hit was only the start. There's a stream of debris behind it that will keep falling for months, maybe even years. He said we're lucky it didn't hit square in the middle of a city. I don't feel lucky. He said the oceans are going to keep rising because all that force woke the earth up like shaking a bottle. Everything is moving now. I don't know how much of that to believe. It sounded real enough. I need to tell you something else I saw. Yesterday, around noon, I climbed to the roof to see if the signal antennas were still standing. From up there, you can see all the way past the lake to the west. And I swear I saw a line of people moving like a trail of ants, hundreds of them, walking east. I don't know where they came from or where they were going, but they looked tired, dragging themselves step by step. It was quiet, even with all of them. No talking, no shouting, just walking. I want to walk out there with them sometimes. Just leave the microphone, leave this building, and see what's left. But then I think about how a voice on a radio might be the only thing someone out there has left. Even if there's just one person hearing me, it's worth staying. I keep a notebook now. I write down what I see each day. If something happens to me, maybe someone will find it and know that at least one person tried to tell what it was like. That notebook has a lot of empty pages, though. There are small things that keep me going. Yesterday, I opened a can of peaches that I had been saving. I hadn't tasted anything sweet in a long time. It was like remembering summer. It almost made me cry. Another small thing. The sun tried to break through the clouds for maybe 5 minutes yesterday evening. Just a dim circle, but it made the dust glow gold for a while. I stood outside and held my hands out like I could catch it. Then it was gone again. I don't know who you are if you're listening. Maybe you're alone in a dark room like me. Maybe you're with your family, sitting close. Maybe you're in some other city trying to make a plan. If you can hear this, you're not alone. I need you to remember that. Keep a knife or something sharp with you, not to hurt people unless you have to, but to open cans, cut rope, do the small things. Collect containers, jars, bottles, anything that can hold water. Stay away from anyone who acts desperate. Desperate people can do things they never thought they would. I don't know how much longer the fuel will last, but I'll be here until the last drop. After that, maybe I'll start writing these words down and leaving them taped to doors, hoping someone finds them. The wind is picking up again. It makes the whole tower shake. I'm going to end this for now. Check on the generator. Then maybe walk around the block to see what changed. if anything. If I come back and the station is still standing, I'll talk again tonight. I'm back. It's later now, maybe close to evening. Hard to tell with the sky the way it is. The clouds never move. They just hang there like a dirty blanket, pressing down. The wind has died down a little. For a while I thought it was going to knock out the antenna, but it's holding. The generator made it through another check. I poured a little more fuel in. I keep thinking about every drop I pour like it's my own blood. Every time I turn the key, I wonder if it's the last time it'll catch. I walked around the block earlier. It's getting emptier out there. Streets that had a few people a couple of days ago are just quiet now. Maybe they've moved on. Maybe they've gone inside. It's strange how a city can look the same but feel completely different. The same buildings, the same sidewalks, but the life is gone. Even the graffiti on the walls looks old now. I passed by the park near here. The swings are still there, but one of the chains broke and the seat hangs twisted on one side. The sandbox is full of ash. There was a kid's shoe in the middle of it. Just one. I stood there for a while looking at it. Then I kept walking. Down near Euclid Avenue there's a big pharmacy. The front glass is all broken. Inside it's empty, just shelves tipped over, papers everywhere. The back room smelled so bad I couldn't stay in there long. I think someone tried to hide there. Maybe more than one person. I found a little water though, a half-full bottle under a shelf. It tasted like dust. But it's water. I'm saving it. On the way back, I heard a sound behind one of the closed-up diners. It was like something knocking against a dumpster. I almost ran, but I forced myself to look. It was a raccoon. Thin ribs sticking out, but still alive. It looked at me and didn't move until I was a few feet away. Then it climbed up and disappeared over the wall. Even they're hungry now. The strangest thing was the birds. There are hardly any left, but today I saw 3 of them flying together, low, wings flapping slow like they were tired. I watched them until they disappeared into the gray. It's strange how quiet it gets when you stop hearing engines and people. You start noticing little sounds, like your own shoes on the pavement, or the way your breath echoes between buildings. I keep checking the shortwave. I keep hoping for something more than just a few broken voices. Tonight, I caught one. A man saying he was near Pittsburgh. He said the water was starting to push into the lower parts of the city. He said people are living in the hills now, in old schools and churches. He said food's almost gone there too. Then the signal cut out. Another voice said, they think something big hit out in the Atlantic last night. Said there was a flash that lit the whole horizon. They said the ocean boiled. I don't know if that's true. It sounds impossible. But then again, so did all of this before it happened. I can't stop thinking about how fast everything went from normal to this. One day, you're complaining about traffic, about the price of gas, about the coffee machine being slow. The next day, none of it matters. It doesn't even feel like the same world. I want to talk about that first day again, because I can't let it go. I was sitting in here, like I said before, just talking about the weather, reading messages, and then the lights flickered and died. At first, I thought it was a blackout, just a bad storm. Then the sound came. It was like the sky ripped open. The floor rolled under me. I could hear car alarms for a second, before everything just stopped. The silence after that sound was worse than the sound itself. I remember standing at the window and seeing smoke rising to the west. far away. And I thought, this can't be real. Things like that don't happen here. They happen in movies. People in the street didn't know what to do. I could see them looking up at the sky, waiting for an answer. Then more flashes came, like pieces breaking off and falling. Some of them hit not far from here. The air got so hot I could feel it through the glass. It's been, what, a week? Maybe 9 days now. It's all a blur. The city is falling apart piece by piece. No food trucks, no gas, no power except for people who know how to keep an old generator alive. And even that will run out. If you're out there and you still have some kind of radio, learn how to use it. Learn how to make one if you can. Even something simple with wire. The only voices left are coming from those. Another thing, if you're near water, watch for the smell. The smell changes before the water comes. You'll smell something like salt and mud, even if you're far inland. It happened here yesterday. The air started to taste like the lake hours before the water rose another foot. If you smell that, move. Don't wait. I haven't seen the National Guard here since the 3rd day. They came through once, trucks that still ran because they were old diesel, and they handed out some food and water. They said there'd be another drop soon. That was the last time I saw them. I think about that a lot, whether they're gone too or if they just gave up on the cities. I don't know why I keep surviving. Luck, I guess, or just stubbornness. I wish I had better news to give you, but there isn't much of that anymore. Just small things, like the 3 birds I saw today, like the taste of those peaches the other night. Those are the things I hold on to. If you have people with you, hold on to them. Even if you're scared, hold them. Talk to them. Don't wait for the right time. There is no right time now. I'm going to save the generator again soon. Shut it off. Sit here in the dark. I'll come back when I can. I'm not leaving. Not yet. If you're out there, keep breathing. One breath at a time. It feels like the days are folding over each other now. I don't even know how long I've been awake. I just sit here talking, or I walk until my legs feel like they'll break. Then I come back and sit some more. The clocks all stopped days ago. My watch ran out of power on day 2. I try to tell time by the light in the sky, but even that is hard now. Everything stays gray. Sometimes it's a lighter gray and sometimes it's a darker one, but it never really becomes day or night. It feels like the whole world is stuck between them. This morning, if it was morning, I woke up on the floor of the studio with a start because the building was shaking. For a second, I thought the generator had blown up, but it wasn't that. It was something outside, something far away but strong enough to make the air move. I stood up and waited. Then I heard it again, like a deep thud under the ground. I think another piece hit somewhere, not here but close enough. After the shaking, there was this long, low sound, like the sky was moaning. It made the glass rattle. Then it stopped, and all that was left was dust drifting down from the ceiling. I went up to the roof again later to see if I could spot where it landed. Nothing but clouds and haze out there. I feel like the world just became smaller. You can't see far anymore. You can't see where the horizon is. It just dissolves. If there are fires, they're hidden behind that curtain. The city keeps sinking into itself. There are more buildings burned out now. I saw 3 houses that had caught fire from a fallen piece during the night. Nobody even came to put it out. People just walk by. They don't look. You can smell the smoke, but you get used to it. There's a smell for everything now. Burned wood, melted plastic, rotting food, and that other smell. The one I keep noticing, like salt and rust. It comes and goes, but it's stronger every day. That one scares me the most. That's the smell that comes before the water. I pass the grocery store again. It's nothing now but broken shelves. Somebody painted on the wall with black spray paint. Gone. That's all it said. It feels like the whole city could be summed up by that one word. There's still some movement out there, though. I saw a group today. Maybe 6 people. They were pulling a small cart made from the back of a bicycle. It had blankets and a few bags in it. They didn't stop. They didn't look at me. Just kept walking east. That's the direction everybody seems to go. I don't know if there's something better east, or if it's just a direction that feels like it's away from here. They moved slow, like every step hurt. I want to tell you what it feels like inside. I don't just mean in my body. I mean in my head. There's a constant buzzing now. Not a sound exactly, but a feeling. Like static that doesn't stop. Even when I try to sleep, I feel it. It's like being on edge every second. And it's heavy. Everything feels heavier. My arms, my voice. Even just standing up. Sometimes I don't want to move at all. But I do. Because I have to. There was another voice on the shortwave last night. A woman this time. She said she was in Indiana, south of here. She sounded tired. She said there's been no sunlight in days. No clean water. She said there's a sickness going around now. People are coughing and getting weak. She asked if anyone knows how to clean water without filters. She said she's boiling what she can, but it's still making people sick. Then her signal faded away. I tried to answer, but my equipment isn't strong enough to reach her. It's like throwing a rock into a huge empty field. You know it lands somewhere, but you never know if anyone sees it. That's another thing I want to talk about. The water. If you're out there, try to collect rainwater when it comes. Let it sit for a day or 2. Use clean cloth to strain it. Boil it if you can. If you have bleach, a few drops can make it safer. If you can't do any of that, let it settle in a container and drink from the top, not the bottom. The bottom has all the dirt. It's not perfect, but it's something. Do not drink straight from the lakes or rivers right now. Everything out there is poison. I went through the cabinets in the studio today, found some old paper maps, the kind nobody uses anymore. I spread them out on the floor and just stared at them for an hour, trying to think of where people might still be alive. It's strange to see all the lines and towns, knowing most of them might be gone. Those maps are from another time. I saw something else today I need to say out loud. On the corner of East 55th Street, there's an old bank. The glass is cracked, but the building is still standing. In front of it, there's a man sitting on the steps. He's been there 3 days now. Doesn't move, doesn't talk. Just sits there, with his back to the wall, staring at the street. I don't even know if he eats. He doesn't ask for food. People walk past him, like he isn't there. I wanted to say something to him today, but I couldn't. I walked by, and he didn't even blink. I think he's just waiting. I don't know for what. Do you know what's strange? In all this, there are still some lights. Not many. A few from candles, sometimes from a window. Little flickers that remind me that someone is still there, still trying. It's like seeing a star in a dead sky. It doesn't fix anything, but it reminds you that you're not completely alone. I think about my sister every day. I wonder if she's seeing the same things. I wonder if she's walking east with one of those groups. I hope she's alive. I hope she found people who know how to survive better than I do. I keep trying to send messages out, just in case she finds a radio. I keep repeating her name. I'll keep doing it until I can't. The fuel is lower again. 1.5 cans left. I shut the generator off for most of the day today and only turn it on when I talk. I've started writing on the walls in here. Notes, things I've seen, directions. Maybe one day someone will come through here and see it. Maybe they'll know I tried to keep track. I need to say this too. Don't trust the silence. When it gets too quiet, stay alert. That's when the big pieces come. You hear nothing, and then there's a crack in the sky and you have seconds to find cover. I keep a table near me at all times now. If I hear that sound, I go straight to the floor. The tower creaks sometimes, like an old ship. I sit here and wonder how long it can stand before it tips. I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I just know I'll be here. If the generator still turns, I'll talk. If it doesn't, I'll write. And if you can hear me, keep moving. Keep holding on. Even if it's just to hear one more human voice. I don't know what day this is anymore. I think it's been close to 2 weeks since the big strike, but I can't be sure. Everything blends together. You wake up and it feels like the same hour as when you fell asleep. The only reason I keep track at all is because I write a mark on the wall with a pen every time I wake up from a full sleep. There are 11 marks now. I don't know if that's right, but it's all I have. Today I went farther out than I have before. I needed to see if there was anything left in the smaller stores, the ones that nobody thinks about. The bigger ones have been empty for days, even the small neighborhood groceries. But there's a hardware shop about 1.5 miles away, so I walked there. It's slow walking. You don't want to make noise anymore. I don't know why, it's just something that feels right. The streets are open, but they feel heavy, like someone's watching. On the way, I saw a man digging in the dirt with his hands behind an apartment building. He looked up once, then just kept digging. There was a plastic bucket next to him. I don't know what he was looking for. Maybe water pipes, maybe food. I didn't stop to ask. You stop less and less these days. Everyone is wrapped inside themselves. The hardware shop still had things. No food, but I found a box of matches, a pack of candles, and a hand crank flashlight. I almost couldn't believe it. A flashlight that doesn't need batteries. I stood there for a while, just turning the handle and hearing the click of it winding. It felt like hope. A stupid little bit of hope. I took some rope too. I don't know what I'll use it for yet, but rope feels like something worth keeping now. I brought it all back here and put it in a drawer like it's treasure. Walking back, I noticed that the sky wasn't just gray. There's a faint red line at the far edge. Maybe that's the sun trying to push through. Or maybe it's another fire. It's strange how you can see color out there and not trust it anymore. Red doesn't mean a sunset now. It means danger. I want to talk about the way things sound. I keep coming back to that. When I was walking there, I could hear everything. My own breath, my steps, a piece of glass crunching under my shoe, a piece of paper blowing along the street, a bird once, just one sound. You never realize how loud the world used to be until all of that is gone. The silence is like a second skin now. It makes you feel like you're underwater. There was another voice on the shortwave last night, a man from Illinois. He said a military plane tried to land out near Peoria but didn't make it. He said people are pulling what they can out of the wreck. Gasoline. Blankets. He said the soldiers were alive when they came down, but some of the locals started fighting over the supplies. That's what it's come to now. It makes me sick to even say it. I wonder what those soldiers thought, coming down in a field and realizing there's no help left. that there's no chain of command anymore, no rescue. That same man said something else that I can't stop thinking about. He said there's talk that this isn't just one impact, that what came down is still falling. He called it a swarm, like a train of rocks behind the first one. He said people out west are still seeing streaks in the sky every night. He said some are small, but some are big. That makes me think about the shaking I heard this morning. How many more pieces are out there? How long will this keep coming? I keep telling myself to be honest about how it feels in here, so I'm going to say it. I'm scared. Not the kind of scared that makes you scream or run. It's the kind that sits in your chest like a stone. It doesn't move. It just sits there all day and all night. You breathe around it, you talk around it, but it doesn't leave. Sometimes I get angry too. Angry at everyone who said everything was fine, that it would miss, that we'd be okay. Angry that we were told it wouldn't be like this. But then I think maybe nobody really knew. Maybe everyone was just guessing. And then the guessing ran out. I've started thinking about what happens when this fuel runs out. I think about that every time I hear the generator. There's no more coming. No trucks, no deliveries. Once these cans are empty, that's it. I try to imagine myself just sitting here in the dark, talking out loud to nobody, hoping my voice reaches someone who can't hear me. Sometimes I wonder what's happening in other parts of the world. The voices I've heard are all from here, from this side of the ocean, Europe, Africa, Asia. I don't know what's happening there. Are they gone too? Are they still trying to talk to us, but we can't hear them because the sky is broken? I want to know if there's any place where life is still moving like it used to. I can't imagine it anymore. I went down into the lobby of this building today. It's quiet down there. There's a vending machine tipped on its side. Everything inside has already been taken. There's broken glass everywhere. I sat on the floor and drank a bottle of water I'd been saving, and for a while, I just stared at the door. It was open. The glass was shattered, so the wind comes in. Every once in a while, a piece of paper blows in and slides across the floor. It's the only movement in the room. After a while, I thought about how that room used to be full of people. People waiting for interviews, talking on phones, looking at screens. All of that is gone, and I'm the only one left. I don't know if I'll stay here forever. Maybe one day I'll have to leave, but not yet. As long as this signal is alive, I'll stay. There's a smell tonight that wasn't there yesterday. It's sharper, like smoke, but thicker. It's sticking to my clothes. When I walked back here from the hardware shop, I saw the sky flicker for a second, like lightning, but there was no thunder. Maybe that's another strike somewhere, or maybe it's the sky itself tearing. I don't know how long this can keep going. I don't know what's left to break. But I do know one thing. If you are still out there, and if you can hear this, you are still alive. That has to be enough for now. I'll turn this off soon. Save what's left of the fuel. I'll be back tomorrow. Or what I think is tomorrow. Until then, hold on. I'm tired today. It's the kind of tired that isn't just in your body, it's in your head. Even my voice feels heavy. I almost didn't turn the generator on, but I knew if I didn't talk, the silence would feel worse. The silence has a way of eating you up now. I woke up to another sound this morning. It wasn't the deep thud from yesterday. This one was sharp, like metal twisting. It came from somewhere to the north. For a few minutes, I thought maybe a building had collapsed. I went up to the roof to see. It wasn't a building. There was a column of smoke stretching up where the sky meets the lake. Dark smoke, moving slow. The water looks higher out there again. Every time I look at it, it's closer. There's debris floating all over it now. Whole sections of docks, pieces of cars, wooden beams, and it stinks worse than it did yesterday. I'm starting to think the lake might come up to this part of the city if this keeps going. It sounds crazy, but the way the ground is sinking, and the way the water keeps creeping, I can see a time when this studio won't be standing anymore. After I saw the smoke, I came back inside. It's cold now. Not freezing, but it feels like fall. You can see your breath sometimes. I don't know how cold it'll get when winter comes. If it comes. If the sun ever shows again. There are fewer people on the streets now. Yesterday I saw 6 walking east. Today I only saw 2. A man and a woman. They were pushing a cart with a blanket over it. I don't know what was under there. They didn't look up when I passed them. I nodded, but they didn't nod back. Just kept moving. It's strange how being near people feels dangerous now. We're used to crowds, but now when you see someone you stop and you watch. You wonder if they're safe. You wonder if they want to take what little you have. I walked farther today, past the old factory near Cedar Avenue. The building is almost hollow now. The roof caved in on one side. There's a mural on the wall. Bright colors under the dust, painted years ago. It shows a man lifting his arms up like he's free. The colors are peeling away, but it's still there. For some reason, looking at that mural hurt more than seeing the burned out houses. It reminded me of how the city used to be alive. Inside that factory, there's nothing left but broken machines. But in the back, in an office, I found a metal cabinet. Inside, there was a box of screws, a small hammer, and a half-broken radio. I took the radio. It's one of those old ones, with dials. It doesn't work, but maybe I can fix it, or use parts from it. Everything matters now, even things that don't work. I stayed in that office for a while, sitting on the floor, trying to hear if there was anything outside. Just quiet. Then I walked back. When I got here, I checked the shortwave again. There's a pattern now. The voices are weaker each day, like there are fewer people able to reach out. But tonight I caught something. A man said he was from Michigan. He said the lakes up there have swallowed towns. He said Saginaw is underwater. He said people are moving south as fast as they can, but there's nowhere to go. He also said something else. He said there's a rumor that the pieces are falling in lines, like the earth is being hit again and again in a path. He said it's moving east. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it means more is coming. I don't know why I listen to these voices so much. Maybe because every time I hear someone else talk, it makes me feel like I'm not just shouting into nothing. Even if it's a few words, even if it cuts out, it's proof that someone else is still breathing. There's a smell inside the studio now. It's in the walls. It smells like smoke mixed with something sour. I open the windows to try and get it out, but the air outside smells just as bad. I think the smell is in everything now. I went down into the basement earlier. I hadn't been there since the first week. It's damp, but I found a box of bottled water I didn't know was there. 12 bottles. I almost cried when I saw it. I carried it all upstairs like it was gold. I've been drinking water slow for days now. Just a few sips every couple of hours. This means I can drink a little more for a while. I'm holding on to every little thing that feels good. Finding that box. turning the handle on the flashlight, seeing a patch of color in a wall. There's one thing I keep thinking about: music. I used to play music all the time in here. Every day, songs on the radio, loud, full sound. Now there's none. I miss it. I miss how a song could fill a room and make you forget for a few minutes. Sometimes when I sit here at night, I hum to myself. Quiet, because I don't want anyone to hear from outside. But I hum. Little bits of songs I remember. It's the only thing that makes this room feel alive for a second. I want to talk about the cold again. It's strange how fast it came. The air feels thin. I put on 2 jackets just to sit in here. My hands are starting to crack. If this is what summer feels like now, I don't know what winter will be. If the sky stays covered, maybe we'll never see the sun strong enough to warm us again. I've been thinking a lot about what it would be like if the power came back, if the lights turned on, if the phones worked, if we could hear people in real time again. I think about it before I fall asleep. It's not hope. It's just something my brain does, like it's trying to imagine a different world while I'm stuck in this one. I'll turn the generator off soon. I've got 1 can left now. That's it. 1 can. After that, this voice stops. I've been turning it off for 10 hours at a time now, saving every bit. If this is the last time you hear me, remember this: stay away from water that's rising. Find the highest place you can. Stay with someone if you can. And even when the sky keeps falling, don't stop looking for other people. That's the only thing that's left to hold on to. I'll keep going as long as I can. It's colder today. My fingers hurt when I write, and when I hold this microphone, they feel stiff, like they don't belong to me. I never thought I'd sit inside a building in the middle of July wearing 2 jackets and still see my breath in the air. But here we are. The sky never changes. It's the same heavy sheet every day, and it keeps the sun away. It feels like the world forgot how to be warm. I had a dream last night that it was summer again. Real summer. Hot air, kids running through sprinklers, the smell of cut grass. I woke up, and for a few seconds, I thought it was real. But when I opened my eyes, there was only this dim gray. That feeling when the dream fades and reality comes back is something I wouldn't wish on anyone. I went walking again today, because sitting here makes the walls feel like they're pressing in. I went toward the bridge. The streets closer to the bridge are worse than the ones near the station. There are cars crammed into every inch of the road, just stuck there. People left them when everything stopped. Doors open, bags on the seats, windows smashed. I saw a car seat still strapped into the back of one car. No one in it. I don't want to think about what happened to them. I climbed up to the middle of the bridge. You can see the lake from there, wide and dull and sick-looking. It's higher than last week. Whole pieces of the shoreline are gone now. The docks are broken, like someone took a huge hand and pulled them apart. And the smell hits you hard when you're up there. It's like something died a long time ago and got mixed with salt. I couldn't stand it for long. I kept thinking that if the water keeps rising, one day it will swallow that bridge too. I stayed there for a while anyway, looking out at what used to be blue water. It's just brown now. It looks heavy. On my way back, I heard something. Not close, but far away. A low roll, like thunder. But there were no flashes of light this time. It's hard to tell where the sound comes from now. The sky makes it echo in all directions. It could be another impact. It could be a building falling miles away. You can't tell. I keep wondering how much of the world is like this now. If if you're out there somewhere and you're hearing this, I want you to know that I'm trying to imagine what you see. Maybe it's mountains. Maybe it's fields. Maybe it's a city like this one, hollow and still. Are you walking through streets like these? Are there people with you? Are you alone like I am? If you hear me, I want you to picture this too. Picture me sitting here, speaking into this microphone, trying to reach you. I don't have much food left. 2 cans of beans, 3 cans of corn, a jar of peanut butter, and 1 can of peaches. I'm saving for a day when I really can't stand the taste of beans anymore. I've been rationing, eating once a day now. Hunger has become a dull ache that just stays there. It doesn't even hurt much anymore. It just lingers. I went through the drawers in the station again this morning and found an old tape recorder. It doesn't work, but I keep it next to me anyway. It makes me think of a time when someone else sat in this chair and made recordings of things that mattered. I like to imagine their voice stuck somewhere in that machine. When I turned on the shortwave last night, I found a voice from New Jersey. A man, maybe older. His voice was slow. He said the water had swallowed parts of the city there too. He said the air smells like rot. He said people are trying to head inland, but the bridges are packed and no one knows if the ground is safe. Then he said something that stayed with me. He said, "The ocean came for us like it remembered our names." After that, his signal died. I sat here in the dark, thinking about that. The ocean remembered. I want to say something to whoever's listening. If you have a paper map, keep it. If you can draw one, do that. The old roads, the old landmarks, even if they're gone now. Because when the screens died, so did everything that used to tell us where we are. Out there, people are walking blind. I'm trying to mark places I see on paper, just so there's some record of what's changing. I also want to tell you this. If you see old tools, pick them up. Hammers, wrenches, anything that works without a plug. They're worth more now than anything else. There are no stores, no machines to fix things. The only thing left is what we can use with our hands. Every time I speak, I can hear the fuel burning. The sound of the generator is like a clock ticking down. There's just 1 can left. Maybe a little more than half a can. I've started thinking about how long I can keep doing this. When it runs out, this voice will be gone unless I find another way. I keep looking for an answer to that. I haven't found it yet. Sometimes I think about leaving the city, but where would I go? The streets outside are like a maze of broken cars. I can't take much with me. On foot, you can only carry what you can hold, and I keep thinking, if I leave, this room will be empty, and maybe someone out there will tune in and hear nothing. I don't want that to be the way it ends. I saw something strange today on my way back from the bridge. A single light in a window on the 15th floor of an office building. It wasn't a candle. It looked steady, like a lantern. I stood there for a long time just looking up at it. Someone's still up there. I don't know if I should try to find them. Part of me wants to knock on every door in that building. Part of me is afraid of what I'll find. Tomorrow I might try to get closer. I don't know how much more there is to say right now. The sky is darker now. Maybe night is coming. Or maybe it's just thicker clouds. I'm going to shut this down for a while and sit in the quiet. I'll be back. If there's still fuel, I'll be back. And if you hear me, don't give up. Not yet. I waited to turn this back on because I wanted to see if that light I saw last night would come back. I sat by the window for hours with the room dark so no one could see me, and I just stared at that building. 15th floor, a single window, one steady glow. Around what must have been midnight, it blinked out. I don't know if it burned out or if whoever was there shut it off. It was strange, though. For the hours it was there, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was like proof that someone was still awake in all this. I thought about trying to cross the city and find them today, but I don't know if I'm ready for what's in that building. There are so many dead places in this city now, and I don't know if I can stand finding another one. I slept badly again. Dreams that don't feel like dreams anymore. I keep dreaming about water filling the streets. Not fast, like a wave, but slow, creeping in through the cracks until everything is covered. When I wake up, I check the floor to make sure it's still dry. That's how real it feels. I went back up to the roof this morning. You can see a long way from up there, or you used to. Now everything is faded. You can barely see where the lake starts. There's a new shape in the distance, like something big fell overnight. A black mound of twisted metal and smoke near the shore. I think another piece must have come down while I was sleeping. I couldn't hear it, but it's there now. I stared at it through the haze. Whatever it is, it doesn't look like anything I've seen before. It's big, too big for a plane. It doesn't matter, though. I'm not going out there. It's colder again today. I don't know how it can keep getting colder in July, but it does. My breath fogs up the window when I stand close to it. I've been putting old station posters over the cracks in the glass to keep the wind out, but it still comes through. It smells like wet dirt and salt. I saw 3 people today on the street below the tower. They were pulling something in a wagon. A tarp was tied over it, but I could hear glass clinking underneath. Maybe bottles of water, maybe jars. They stopped for a while in the middle of the street, looking around, then kept walking east. That's where everyone goes. East. It's like there's a pull in that direction. They didn't look up, so they didn't see me. When I went out myself earlier, I didn't go far. Just to the gas station again to check. There's nothing new there. The smell is worse. Something must be rotting in the back. I stood there for a few minutes looking at the broken shelves and thinking about how many times I used to stand in line here to buy a soda or a snack, and how easy life was then. You never think about how much you rely on those little things until there's nothing left. On the way back, I found a few more candles in an alley. Someone must have dropped them. They're dirty, but they'll burn. That's good enough for me. I took them back. Tonight, I'll try to use candles instead of the generator for light. I need to talk about the noises in the sky. They're getting stranger. Last night there was a deep groan, almost like the sky itself was pulling apart. It lasted maybe 30 seconds. I lay on the floor until it stopped. I thought maybe something else was coming down, but there was no crash, just that sound. I've never heard anything like it. It's like the world is making new noises now. I tried the shortwave again tonight. Fewer voices. There was one faint one that came through from somewhere in Ohio, maybe near Columbus. A woman talking fast. She said the city there is falling apart. No food. People breaking into houses. She said they're trying to build a wall around some parts to keep people safe, but they don't have enough wood or fuel to keep it warm inside. Her voice was shaking. Then it was gone. Just static. I don't know if I've said this before, but if you're listening and you don't have a way to boil water, dig a hole, line it with cloth, and let the water drip through sand. It won't make it perfect, but it's better than nothing. If you find a way to build a fire, even a small one, use it to make steam from the water, and catch that steam in something clean. It's slow, but it's the only way I know that works when everything else is broken. The tower has been shaking more. I think it's the wind, but it feels different. I sat here this afternoon, and I swear I could hear the steel bending, like a low creak. I don't know what happens if this place comes down. I guess I'd be gone with it. I keep thinking about leaving the city. If the fuel runs out, that might be my only choice. There's a road that runs southeast, smaller than the main ones. It's full of cars now, but maybe I could find a way through. Maybe I could follow the groups heading east. I don't know what's waiting there, but at least it would be movement. At least I wouldn't just sit here waiting. I'm afraid to leave, though. Afraid that someone will tune in here, hear nothing, and think there's no one left. That's why I'm still here. That's why I keep talking. Even if there's just one person listening, that's reason enough to stay. I don't have much else to say tonight. The sky is darker than usual. I think another storm is coming, or maybe another wave of pieces. I'll shut this down soon and try to get some sleep. If you hear this, stay awake as long as you can. Stay off the big roads. Stay together if you can. I'll talk again when the fuel lets me. I waited to turn this back on because I wanted to see if that light I saw last night would come back. I sat by the window for hours with the room dark so no one could see me, and I just stared at that building. 15th floor, a single window, one steady glow. Around what must have been midnight, it blinked out. I don't know if it burned out, or if whoever was there shut it off. It was strange, though. For the hours it was there, I couldn't take my eyes off it. It was like proof that someone was still awake in all this. I thought about trying to cross the city and find them today, but I don't know if I'm ready for what's in that building. There are so many dead places in this city now, and I don't know if I can stand finding another one. I slept badly again. Dreams that don't feel like dreams anymore. I keep dreaming about water filling the streets. Not fast, like a wave, but slow, creeping in through the cracks until everything is covered. When I wake up, I check the floor to make sure it's still dry. That's how real it feels. I went back up to the roof this morning. You can see a long way from up there, or you used to. Now everything is faded. You can barely see where the lake starts. There's a new shape in the distance, like something big fell overnight. A black mound of twisted metal and smoke near the shore. I think another piece must have come down while I was sleeping. I couldn't hear it, but it's there now. I stared at it through the haze. Whatever it is, it doesn't look like anything I've seen before. It's big. Too big for a plane. It doesn't matter, though. I'm not going out there. It's colder again today. I don't know how it can keep getting colder in July, but it does. My breath fogs up the window when I stand close to it. I've been putting old station posters over the cracks in the glass to keep the wind out, but it still comes through. It smells like wet dirt and salt. I saw 3 people today on the street below the tower. They were pulling something in a wagon. A tarp was tied over it, but I could hear glass clinking underneath. Maybe bottles of water. Maybe jars. They stopped for a while in the middle of the street, looking around, then kept walking east. That's where everyone goes. East. It's like there's a pull in that direction. They didn't look up, so they didn't see me. When I went out myself earlier, I didn't go far. Just to the gas station again to check. There's nothing new there. The smell is worse. Something must be rotting in the back. I stood there for a few minutes looking at the broken shelves and thinking about how many times I used to stand in line here to buy a soda or a snack and how easy life was then. You never think about how much you rely on those little things until there's nothing left. On the way back, I found a few more candles in an alley. Someone must have dropped them. They're dirty, but they'll burn. That's good enough for me. I took them back. Tonight I'll try to use candles instead of the generator for light. I need to talk about the noises in the sky. They're getting stranger. Last night, there was a deep groan, almost like the sky itself was pulling apart. It lasted maybe 30 seconds. I lay on the floor until it stopped. I thought maybe something else was coming down, but there was no crash. Just that sound. I've never heard anything like it. It's like the world is making new noises now. I tried the shortwave again tonight. Fewer voices. There was one faint one that came through from somewhere in Ohio, maybe near Columbus. A woman talking fast. She said the city there is falling apart. No food. People breaking into houses. She said they're trying to build a wall around some parts to keep people safe, but they don't have enough wood or fuel to keep it warm inside. Her voice was shaking. Then it was gone. Just static. I don't know if I've said this before, but if you're listening and you don't have a way to boil water, dig a hole, line it with cloth, and let the water drip through sand. It won't make it perfect, but it's better than nothing. If you find a way to build a fire, even a small one, use it to make steam from the water and catch that steam in something clean. It's slow, but it's the only way I know that works when everything else is broken. The tower has been shaking more. I think it's the wind, but it feels different. I sat here this afternoon and I swear I could hear the steel bending, like a low creak. I don't know what happens if this place comes down. I guess I'd be gone with it. I keep thinking about leaving the city. If the fuel runs out, that might be my only choice. There's a road that runs southeast, smaller than the main ones. It's full of cars now, but maybe I could find a way through. Maybe I could follow the groups heading east. I don't know what's waiting there, but at least it would be movement. At least I wouldn't just sit here waiting. I'm afraid to leave though, afraid that someone will tune in here, hear nothing, and think there's no one left. That's why I'm still here. That's why I keep talking. Even if there's just one person listening, that's reason enough to stay. I don't have much else to say tonight. The sky is darker than usual. I think another storm is coming, or maybe another wave of pieces. I'll shut this down soon and try to get some sleep. If you hear this, stay awake as long as you can. Stay off the big roads. Stay together if you can. I'll talk again when the fuel lets me. I've been staring out of the window for hours before turning the generator on. I kept thinking about what to say. There's only so many ways you can talk about gray skies and empty streets before the words start to feel the same. But the truth is, it isn't the same. Every day has its own shape, its own small changes that only someone sitting here for days would notice. The wind sounds different today. It's lower, like it's dragging itself along the ground instead of sweeping through the tops of buildings. You can hear it scraping on broken glass and metal. It rattles every loose thing that's left behind. It makes the whole city sound like it's whispering. I saw something new this morning. I woke up and went to the roof, like I do every day now. And off to the west, there's a new scar on the land. Something big must have hit last night. You can see a stretch of trees pushed over and black smoke still rising, slow and thick. The smell reached here hours later, like burned rubber. The lake is closer to that scar now, like it's filling up the hole. I keep thinking about the ground under us, how much it shook that first day. I keep wondering if these buildings were made to survive this long without any help. You can feel it in the walls now. Every time the ground trembles just a little, dust falls from the ceiling. I went down to the second floor earlier to see what's left in the offices. Paper everywhere, old photos on desks, little pieces of life frozen in a moment. One desk still had a picture of a family pinned up. A man, a woman, and 2 kids. They were all smiling. It looks like it was taken at a fair. I just stood there for a long time looking at that picture. I don't know why I didn't take it with me. Maybe because it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to a world that doesn't exist anymore. On my way back up, I heard footsteps. I froze halfway on the stairs, listening. They were soft, slow, a floor below me. I waited, holding my breath, but they stopped. I stayed there for 5 minutes, waiting, but I didn't hear anything else. When I finally moved again, the stairs creaked and echoed so loud it made me feel exposed. I came back up here and locked the door. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was someone like me. There's still a part of me that wants to leave this tower, to try to find that light I saw in the other building. But then I think about what's waiting in the streets. People with empty eyes, places that smell like death. I'm safer up here, even if it's just for now. The shortwave was almost empty last night, static and nothing else. Then a voice came through, faint, barely there. A young boy, maybe 12 or 13. He said his name was Lucas. He said he was with his mom somewhere near Erie. He said they were walking east along the highway. He sounded scared. I tried to talk back, but my signal didn't reach. His voice faded out. It's the first time I've heard a kid on the radio. I can't stop thinking about him. I wonder if he'll make it out of there. I wonder what he sees when he looks around. If you're listening to this, and you're that boy, Lucas, keep moving. Stay close to your mom. Don't stop near the water. Don't trust strangers, unless you have no choice. If you can find an old radio that works on batteries, keep it with you. Even if you can't hear me, keep it. I walked down to the old post office earlier. I don't know why. Maybe because I wanted to see a place that used to be busy. The front doors were open. Inside it smells like mold. Piles of letters scattered everywhere. Some are still sealed. I sat there for a while, reading names and addresses on the envelopes. People who might not even be alive anymore. It felt strange, like I was looking at ghosts. When I came out, the air smelled stronger. That metallic salt smell again. I think it means the water's closer. I turned back fast. I don't want to be caught out when it comes. The days are getting shorter, not because the sun's setting, but because the light barely changes. It's hard to tell how much time passes anymore. I mark the wall every time I sleep, but I could be wrong. I haven't eaten yet today. I'm saving the food. My stomach hurts, but I can ignore it now. The hunger is always there, like the cold. You get used to it. Sometimes I wonder what it looks like from space now. If there's anyone still up there, are they looking down at all of this? Can they see the water spreading, the smoke rising? Are they talking to each other while we sit down here, cut off from everything? I keep a notebook for things I want to remember. Things I want to tell someone if I meet someone again. I wrote about the light in that building, about the boy on the radio, about the sound of the wind today. Little things that would mean nothing to someone else but feel huge right now. I'm going to shut this down soon. I have to keep saving fuel. There's a little less than half a can left. After that, it's candles. If you hear this, don't stop. Even if you're tired, even if you feel like there's nothing ahead, just keep moving. I'll talk again when I can. I turned the generator on because I needed to hear my own voice again. The silence today has been worse than usual. No wind for most of the day, no sound of anyone walking outside. Just stillness, heavy like a blanket. When the world is that still, every creak in the building sounds like someone standing behind you. Last night, I didn't sleep much. I kept thinking about the footsteps I heard on the stairs yesterday. I don't know if it was real, or if my head made it up because I wanted to believe someone was close. I locked the studio door and pushed a chair against it anyway. That's how I slept, sitting up against the wall, holding a wrench in my lap like it would make a difference if someone came through. When the sky started to lighten this morning, I went to the roof again. The lake is even closer now. You can see the water pushing into the streets at the far end of downtown. It's slow, but it's there. I think in a few weeks this tower will be surrounded. Maybe sooner if another big piece hits. I saw a few more things up there. Smoke to the east this time. Not as much as the west, but enough to make a line against the gray sky. And further north, I think I saw a camp. There were little dots of orange light, like small fires. It was far away, maybe 10 miles. I don't know if I'll ever reach it, but it's there. Proof that someone is still trying. I tried to get closer to that building with the light today, the one I saw a couple of nights ago. I didn't make it all the way there. The streets between here and there are like a maze now. Cars stacked up, some of them pushed out of the way, some just left where they died. There are doors hanging open. I walked for an hour before I realized I was only halfway. Then I heard something. Not footsteps this time. Something breaking. Glass shattering in one of the buildings nearby. I stopped walking. I couldn't see who it was, but I could hear the sound of someone moving fast after that, like they were running away. I didn't wait to find out more. I turned around and came back to the tower. The city feels more dangerous now than it did a week ago. Not because of the falling pieces, not even because of the water, but because of the way people are changing. You can feel it. Something in their faces when you see them. Hunger does that. Fear does that. I went through more rooms today looking for anything I could use. I found a box of old cassette tapes. They're blank, but they feel solid in my hands, like pieces of another world. I don't have anything to play them on, but I keep looking at the labels. I wrote on one of them today. I wrote voices. If I live long enough, I want to record what's left of these days on it. I haven't had much to eat. I opened a can of beans and ate it cold. I saved the liquid in the can now, too. It's salty and doesn't taste good, but it's water, and that's what matters. The shortwave had one voice today, a woman from Indiana again. I think it's the same one I heard before. Her voice was weaker this time. She said they're moving south, looking for food. She said there are more sick people now. Coughing, fever. She said they don't have medicine. Then she said something strange. She said, "We saw the sky tear open last night, and the air smelled like lightning." After that, the signal went dead. I can't stop thinking about that. The sky tearing open. Maybe that's what I heard when I saw that flash over the lake a few nights ago. It makes me wonder how long the air is going to stay safe. If all of these pieces keep falling, what happens to the sky? What happens to us if we can't even breathe? I know I should leave, but I still can't. I feel like if I leave, I disappear. At least here, there's still a voice coming from somewhere. And if someone's out there with a radio, maybe they'll hear it. Maybe it'll keep them moving. I keep saying this, but I have to. If you can hear me, keep something sharp with you. Keep water in anything that can hold it. Use shirts to cover your mouth when you walk through the dust. If you find a group that isn't violent, stay close. It's harder now, but you need people. It's almost evening now. The sky is darker, but there's no difference between night and day anymore. I'll turn the generator off soon. I've got about 1/3 of a can left. That's all. Before I do, I want to say this. I know it feels hopeless. It feels like the world has forgotten us, but there are still lights in windows. There are still voices on the radio. There are still people walking. That means something. I'll keep talking as long as I can. I don't know how much longer this can hold. Every time I start this generator now, I hear the sound of the motor coughing. The fuel gauge is almost at the bottom. Maybe 1/4 of a can left. When it runs out, I don't know if I'll be able to say anything else, so I'll keep talking now while I can. This morning, I woke up to another sound. Not from the sky this time. It came from the hallway outside the studio. A slow, dragging sound, like something heavy was being pulled across the floor. It stopped and started. Stopped and started. I sat there with my back against the wall, holding my breath. Then it went quiet. After a while, I stood up and opened the door. The hallway was empty, just dust on the floor. The sound stayed in my ears long after it stopped. I've started sleeping in shorter pieces now. 2 hours here, 3 hours there. I don't trust nights anymore. They feel too long. When you sleep deep, it's like you're leaving yourself behind and anything can happen to you while you're gone. I climbed up to the roof again when the gray light came back. I always go up there. I don't even know why anymore. There's nothing new to see most days. Today, there was. To the north, where I thought I saw a camp yesterday, the fires are out. No light, no smoke, nothing. Whatever was there isn't there now. I don't know if they moved or if something happened to them. The lake looks worse every day. You can see pieces of wood, furniture, and twisted pieces of cars floating in it. It doesn't even move like water anymore. It looks thick. The smell from it comes this far now, and sometimes it feels like it's sticking to your skin. I saw another group walking east today, 7 this time. One of them was limping badly, leaning on a piece of pipe as a crutch. They didn't stop, not even when a car fell over in the wind right in front of them. They just walked around it and kept moving. The way they move now is strange. No one runs, no one talks. It's like they're trying not to be seen, even when there's no one left to see them. I went south again after that. I wanted to see if the note I left in the church yesterday was still there. It was. No one touched it. That means whoever was staying there hasn't come back yet. Maybe they won't. On the way back, I heard a voice. Not close, but close enough to freeze me where I was. A man shouting. I couldn't make out the words, but I could hear the anger in it. Then a crash. Then nothing. I stood behind a wall for a long time waiting. After a while, I decided to move. I kept my head down all the way back to the tower. Inside here, it feels safer, but I can hear everything now. Every time the wind hits the building, every creak, every pop. It feels like the walls are bending a little more each day. The shortwave had a few voices tonight. A man from Kentucky. He said the rivers there are rising, taking bridges with them. He said whole towns are gone. Then another voice, a woman from western Pennsylvania. She said the ground shook last night and a hill came down on the road. She said they were trapped behind it and didn't know how to get out. Her voice cut out in the middle of a sentence. That happens a lot now. You start hearing someone, then they just vanish. It's strange how much those broken voices mean to me. Even for a few minutes, it feels like I'm not the last person left. I ate a little today. Half a can of corn. It's sweet, but watery. I save the liquid like I always do. My stomach hurts, but at least I still have food to think about. There will come a time soon when even that runs out. I wonder if people are still alive underground somewhere, in bunkers or tunnels, places with real food and air that doesn't smell like this. Maybe they'll come out one day and see what's left. Maybe they'll see all of us sitting up here in towers waiting. The color of the sky tonight is different. It's darker, almost black, but not the kind of black you get with night. It's like someone painted the clouds with ash. There's a faint glow behind it. Maybe another impact. Maybe just the fires that never stop burning. You can't tell anymore. I think a lot about the first day still. About the way everyone stood outside, staring at the sky like they were waiting for someone to explain. There was a moment where people looked at each other, waiting for someone to take control. No one ever did. I used to believe that someone always knew what to do in a disaster, that there was a plan, that people in suits somewhere had answers. But there are no answers now. Just this. You wake up, and you try to stay alive another day. There's a sound in the building again now. I can hear it faint through the walls as I speak. It might be the wind. It might not. It comes and goes. I'm not going to check this time. Not tonight. If you hear this, don't go anywhere alone that you don't have to. Always look behind you. Always listen. And if you find a place to stay that feels even a little bit safe, hold on to it as long as you can. I'm going to save the fuel now. I'll be back when I can. I'm not done yet. I turned the generator on again because the building feels alive in the wrong way. Every sound tonight feels closer. There are noises in the walls. They might be just the wind, but the wind doesn't move like footsteps. It doesn't stop and start. I've got a little less than a quarter can left. When I pour what's left into the tank, I can hear it slosh like it's almost gone. I keep looking at it, trying to guess how many more nights that means. Maybe 5 if I use it right. Maybe less. This morning, before the light changed, I went to the roof again. The air up there is heavy. The smoke from that thing that fell near the lake hasn't cleared. You can taste it in your mouth. I stayed low and just watched. I saw the water pushing further into the city. It's slow, but it doesn't stop. There are streets out there that look like thin rivers now. I saw a single person on one of those streets, knee-deep in water, walking with a stick. They were pulling a bag behind them. They looked small from up here, like a shadow. They didn't look back once. I came down after that and walked the stairs all the way to the ground floor. It's darker down there, colder. I checked the lobby again, just to make sure no one else had come in. Nothing had changed, except the paper that blows around. I walked east for a while, down streets I haven't been on yet. There's an old diner on the corner of 24th. It still has a red sign hanging over the door. Inside, the counter is covered in dust, plates and cups left like everyone just walked away. I sat there for a while and just looked around. There was a menu on the wall and I read every word on it. Breakfast plates, coffee, pies, things that don't exist now. It made my stomach hurt to read them. When I came out, I heard something behind me, a door closing. I turned, but the street was empty. I don't know if it was real or if I'm just hearing things now. I didn't wait to find out. I walked fast back to the tower. There's a building across from here with windows broken out. I can see right inside. On the top floor, there's a chair turned toward the window. I swear yesterday it was empty. Today, when I looked, there was a shape sitting there. A person, still, looking out. They didn't move. They didn't wave. I stood there for a long time, staring. Then I came inside and locked the door. The shortwave tonight was worse than before. For an hour, nothing but static. Then a faint sound, someone crying. A man's voice, broken up so bad I could barely hear the words. He said something about a bridge, something about water, and then it cut off. I waited another hour, but it never came back. I think about that a lot. How many people are out there, holding on, trying to make their voice reach someone? How many die with no one hearing them? The hunger is getting sharper now. I tried to sleep today just to escape it, but it followed me into the dream. In the dream, I was in a kitchen. There was bread on a table. I could smell it. But every time I reached for it, the bread turned to dust in my hands. I woke up with my heart beating so fast I thought I was choking. I ate a spoon of peanut butter after that. I'm down to a third of the jar now. After that, it's beans and corn until they're gone. My hands shake more now. From hunger, from cold, I don't know. The sky tonight is red in one corner. Not bright. Just a faint red glow bleeding through the clouds. It makes the whole city look like it's on fire even though there's no flame. If you're listening, I need to say this while I still can. I don't know how much longer this city will stand. The water will take it. If you're close to a shoreline, anywhere, get as far away as you can, even if it takes everything out of you. Find high ground and stay there. I keep hearing things in the hall. It's quieter now, but every so often there's a creak, a soft bump. Maybe it's the building. Maybe it's someone else moving in here. I don't want to check tonight. I don't have the strength for it. I'll shut this down now to save what's left. I'll come back when I can. If you hear this, keep moving. Keep looking. The generator almost didn't start tonight. I pulled the cord 3 times before it caught. It made a grinding sound like it was chewing rocks, then finally settled into that low hum. Every time I hear that hum, I know I'm burning the last of something I'll never get back. I have less than a quarter of a can left now. I keep checking it like it's going to refill itself. It doesn't. I didn't sleep much. There were noises all night, the kind that keep you frozen in the dark, listening with every muscle tight. A door somewhere in the building slamming once, then silence. A sound like someone dragging something heavy across the floor, slow. I pressed my ear to the door once, and I swear I heard breathing on the other side. Maybe it was just the building creaking, but I didn't open it. I sat there with a wrench in my hand until my arms went numb. When the gray light came back, I went to the roof again. I can't stop going up there. Maybe because I need to see proof the world hasn't disappeared completely. There's a new crack in the skyline to the west, where another building has fallen. The air smells like ash and wet metal. The lake has moved even closer. You can see the edges of the streets sinking. Cars that were parked there are now tilted at strange angles with water around their tires. I saw another group walking east today. I watch them every time now. This one was small, 4 people. They all looked thin. One of them was carrying a baby wrapped up so tightly I couldn't see its face. They stopped in the middle of the road for a minute, like they couldn't decide where to go, then kept walking. None of them looked up at the tower. None of them looked anywhere but forward. I think that's the only way you can keep moving now. Don't look around. Don't think about anything but the next step. Later, I tried to make it back to that church where I left the note. This time there was someone there, not close enough to see their face, just a figure in the doorway. I froze at the end of the street. They didn't move. They just stood there. After a few seconds, they went back inside. I didn't go closer. I don't know if they saw me. I turned around and walked away. The shortwave was louder tonight, but not with voices, just static and a deep pulsing noise like a heartbeat. I've never heard that before. Then, for a few seconds, there was a woman's voice. She sounded terrified. She said something about the sky breaking open again, and then she screamed. It cut out. The pulsing sound kept going for another minute, and then it was gone. I kept the dial on that frequency for an hour, hoping she would come back. But there was nothing. I found another room in this building with a cabinet full of old batteries. Most of them are dead, but a few still work. I put them in my flashlight. That light is the only thing that makes these halls less like a grave. I keep it with me at all times. When the generator dies, that little circle of light will be all I have. I also found a deck of cards today. It sounds small, but it made me stop for a while. I sat on the floor, shuffling them, laying them out. I don't even know what game I was trying to play. It just felt good to touch something that came from a world that made sense. I've been drinking less water now. I ration it like fuel. A sip every few hours. It leaves your mouth dry and your lips crack. When I do drink, I make it last as long as I can, holding it before I swallow. The cold has gotten worse. It's July, but it feels like the end of October. I can't imagine what happens if this continues through winter. I don't think I'll live to see snow again. Sometimes I catch myself talking to things that aren't there. A chair, a bottle, even the walls. I say things out loud just to hear a voice. Then I realize it's my own, and it doesn't sound like me anymore. There are days when I feel like leaving. Just walk east like the others. Leave this building behind. Carry what I can. But then I think of all the radios out there. If I leave, there will be one more voice gone. Maybe the last one someone was hearing. So I stay. Even if it's killing me, I stay. I don't know what's going to happen first. The water rising to this building, or the generator running out, or something falling from the sky close enough to finish the city. Every night I think about it, and every morning, when I see the gray light again, it feels like a surprise that I'm still here. I'll shut this down now to save what's left. If you hear this, take one more step. That's all I can ask you to do. Take one more step. I sat for a long time before I turned this on. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth burning the last drops of fuel just to hear my own voice bounce back at me in this empty room. Then I think about the boy's voice from a few nights ago. The one who said he was walking east with his mom, and I tell myself that if there's even one more person out there like him who hears me, then it's worth it. The generator started slow again. The sound feels weaker every time. I'm scared of the moment it doesn't start at all. I haven't gone far from the tower today. The wind hasn't stopped since early morning. It pushes dust in waves down the street. You can see it moving like smoke. It gets into your throat and your eyes. I tried to walk out, but turned back after a block. My skin felt raw, I spent most of today in the stairwell instead, listening. This building has become a second voice now. It creaks when the wind hits it. It groans when the ground shakes. It pops when the cold runs through the walls. There's a rhythm to it that I didn't notice before. Today, in between all that noise, I heard something new. Slow tapping. Not steady, not like someone using a tool. Just a few taps, a pause, then a few more. It was coming from somewhere above me. I climbed 3 flights of stairs, but by the time I got there, it had stopped. The silence after was worse than the tapping. When the sky started to brighten a little, I went up to the roof. The air stings now. It smells like iron and mold at the same time. The lake looks like it's breathing. The waves are slow and heavy, like they're tired, but they keep coming. They're spilling over into the streets I can see from up there. And there's more wreckage near the shore. Something big came down again last night. You can see twisted steel half submerged. It's still smoking even now. Every day there's something new sticking out of the earth. I looked east and saw a trail of people again, maybe 12 this time. More than I've seen in a week. They were spread out, not close to each other, like they were afraid to group together. One person at the back fell to their knees and just stayed there. I watched from the roof for as long as I could. Nobody went back for them. Not because they didn't care. I think they were just too weak to risk it. After a while, that person got up again, slow, and started walking. I keep wondering where they all think they're going. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they just walk because stopping is worse. The shortwave was strange tonight. Static, then a low tone, like a hum, almost like music but broken. Then a voice, faint. So faint I could barely make it out. A man saying something about Chicago. He said the water was in the streets now, even in the tall parts of the city. He said people are breaking down doors looking for anything. Then he said, they left us, and it cut out. It makes me think about who they are. The ones who knew this was coming? The ones who used to send trucks and food and news? Whoever it was, they're gone now. I spent an hour after that looking at a paper map I found a few days ago. It's old, edges torn. I marked this tower with an X. Then I drew a line east. I don't know what I'd find on that line, but I keep looking at it. I found one good thing today. In one of the rooms down the hall, there was a cabinet I hadn't opened before. Inside was a small metal box with a crank on the side. It's an old radio. It doesn't need batteries. It barely works, but when I turned the crank, it made a sound. Just a hiss. But it means when this generator dies, I won't be completely silent. I'll keep that sound with me. I think a lot about my sister, about what I'd say to her if she walked through that door. It wouldn't be anything smart. I'd just hug her. That's all. Just hold her and not let go. There are a lot of things I used to want. A house, a better car, a vacation. Now all I want is to sit at a table with someone I love and share a meal. That's it. I can't stop thinking about the baby I saw in that group yesterday, wrapped up so tight. The way the person carrying it just kept walking like the weight wasn't there. That image sticks with me. I hope that baby makes it. It's night now, I think. The sky is darker, but not fully black. The red glow is there again, faint and wide. I don't know if that means something's burning or something's coming. Maybe both. I'm going to save the rest of the fuel for now. If you hear me, stay away from the water. Use whatever you can to cover your mouth when you walk. Try to find a map and keep going. Even if it feels like you can't, keep going. I'll come back as long as the generator lets me. The generator started this time, but the sound of it has changed. It's not steady anymore. There's a little skip in the hum like it wants to stall. When that happens, I hold my breath and listen, waiting to hear if it dies. It hasn't yet, but it's close. I've been thinking all day about what it's going to feel like when the sound stops for good. The hum has been with me since that first day. Even when it's off, I still hear it in my head. It's like a ghost noise. I don't know what silence without it will sound like. I woke up early this morning because of a deep groan from outside. It was long, stretched out, like metal bending. I thought maybe another building was coming down. I ran to the window, but I didn't see anything move. The sound kept going, though, like the earth itself was twisting. It finally stopped, and then the city felt heavier, like it sank a little. Maybe that's what's happening. The whole place is sinking. I went to the roof after that. I can see more water in the streets to the north. It's shining in the gray light, little strips of silver cutting through the city, cars half submerged. There are places now where you couldn't walk if you wanted to. You'd have to swim in water that smells like a sewer. No one can live in that. To the east, there's a new trail of smoke, thin but steady. Every time I see smoke now, I wonder if it's a building burning or a piece from the sky still glowing. I didn't see any groups today. No one walking. The streets below me were empty all day. That's the first time that's happened since this started. Usually there's at least a few people. Maybe they're moving on faster now. Maybe there's no one left close by. I didn't want to leave the tower today. The wind is sharp again. It carries dust in waves that sting your skin. It makes the inside of your mouth taste like grit. It feels like everything in the air wants to get inside you. So I stayed inside and walked the floors. I checked rooms I haven't checked before. Most of them are the same. Desks, paper, broken glass. But in one of them, I found a drawer that still had some things. A can of mixed nuts. Old, maybe stale. But I almost laughed when I saw it. I opened it right there and ate a handful. It was the best thing I've tasted in days. I'll keep the rest for later. There was also a pair of gloves in that drawer. Thin, but better than nothing. My hands have been raw from the cold. I also found another map. This one is newer, folded neat. It covers the whole state. I circled this tower again. Then I sat there for an hour with a pen, drawing lines, trying to imagine where people might still be alive. Doesn't make sense, but it gives me something to do. The shortwave tonight was quiet for a long time. Then there was a sound I've never heard before. A deep pulsing, like a slow heartbeat, almost the same as last night, but louder. Then a voice broke through, a man shouting. His words were broken, but I heard him say something about leaving the cities and mountains. Then he said, "Sky isn't done," and he cut out. The pulsing went on for a while after that. I don't know what it is. Maybe interference from something hitting the atmosphere. Or maybe it's just what the world sounds like now. The air in here smells worse today. It's sour, like mildew mixed with smoke. It's in my clothes and hair. I try not to notice it, but it doesn't go away. I spent most of the afternoon sitting at this table with a notebook. I made a list of things I need to do before the fuel runs out. Find more food. Find water. Figure out a way to leave a message in case someone comes here after me. The list is short, but it feels heavy. I keep thinking about leaving the tower. I look at the map and wonder how far I could make it on foot I could carry what's left of my food, the crank radio, and a few bottles of water. Maybe I'd follow the smaller roads east like everyone else. But then I think about the voices that come through this radio. If I leave, that's one more signal gone. Maybe the last one for someone. I don't know how to make that choice. Not yet. I sat at the window tonight and looked across at that building where I saw someone sitting in a chair yesterday. The chair is still there. Tonight it's empty again. I don't know if I imagined them or if they moved. I keep staring at that window waiting for the shape to come back. I'm tired in a way that food or water won't fix. My legs are fine. My hands still work. But my head feels heavy all the time. It's like every thought is dragging a weight. I'll turn this off soon. I need to save what's left. If you can hear this, don't wait too long if you're thinking about leaving. Pack and go while you still can. Don't wait for someone to come. No one's coming.